I'm grateful to you, Zach and Christina, that you are willing to have a conversation with me and with our Heritage family. I would love for you to just kind of share with us how that journey played out for you, especially in the first early part of your journey.
We struggled with infertility for almost 5 years before we got pregnant, and so through that season of life, it was really difficult for me to really come to a place of accepting where I was and kind of the journey that God had us on. During my devotional times, during that process, I really felt like God had promised me a child of my own. And so, after going through all the doctors and everything, and it's, not working, I just kind of had to trust, I truly believe that God is going to give us a child, but it's going to happen in His timing.
We always thought we'd get married and wait a year and then maybe start trying to start a family. And I told her before we were even engaged that I had a desire that God had placed in my heart to adopt a sibling group.
Even though adoption had kind of always been on His heart, it was never necessarily what I had envisioned for our family. And so struggling through infertility and wanting to have my own children, it really took me a lot longer to get to that point where I was even open to adoption.
And so I just started a conversation with Christina to say, hey, I want you to pray and consider whether this would be the time to start exploring that.
And that's when Zeke and Leo came on the scene. So talk a little bit about that dynamic for you guys as you were still having some grieving around what you thought would be and kind of, what we feel like maybe is God's plan B actually becoming the plan A.
So the first few months especially were extremely difficult, especially for me. But, a couple months into it, I felt like God finally got me to the place of hey, these are the kids we want you to have, and that place of acceptance for them. But definitely in the midst of that, knowing that's what God wanted me to do, I still fought Him on it. It was hard, I had to come to a place of acceptance and surrender to fully move into that.
What's helpful advice or encouragement or wisdom that you can give for someone who might be facing a season that you guys have walked through?
Yeah, I think some of the things that were most helpful for me is just, one, spending time with God. Just being in His presence and being willing to just let it all out there with Him, everything that you're feeling, God can handle it. Whether you're angry with Him or whether you're just sad and need to cry out to Him, He is there and He can handle it. But also finding others that you can talk to, other women who have either gone through that journey or somebody who's just willing to come alongside you and meet with you and pray with you and encourage you, and know that whatever plan He has for your life, that it's going to be better than what we imagined for ourselves.
When you're longing for a child, recognizing that it's a very real hurt and emotional season that she was going through, there wasn't a way for me to fix it, and I didn't want to try to take over her journey, because it's not my journey, it's her journey. I was dealing with my own journey, which part of that was supporting her. And so for me, my encouragement to any husbands out there with a wife going through this, or that you're going through this together, is just to love your spouse and pray for your spouse. Let them know you're there, and show that tangibly by showing up and asking and caring about how they're doing and how they're processing.
So Team Sandry continues to grow. So talk about just, I love your picture of Dom kind of as this unexpected, joyous bundle of blessing that came in your family. So talk about how Team Sandry is growing these days.
It's just been cool to see God and just reveal His plan to both of us in His timing. in all the different seasons. So this one was more of a just being willing to trust that if God wanted us to have a fourth child, that He would provide that. We're very excited for baby number 4, and we're ready to do life with the 6 of us.
So I was kind of in that place of like, oh, I don't think I really want another one. You know, God, what do you want us to do? Do you want us to have another one or not? And then He's like, you're pregnant. And so I'm like, well, I guess that answers that question. So that kind of helped me with that, because I was kind of like, oh, no, I think I'm good. But God was faithful in answering that prayer and blessing us with another child. And so I think there's definitely some nervousness on my part of, you know, having an infant and a toddler, and, you know, a couple older boys as well. But I know that, you know, God has been faithful through this whole process. And so if He believes that another child is what's going to bless our family even more and contribute to whatever His will is for our lives, then we're going to do it.